Hall of Famer, two-time World Series champ, and 14-time All-Star. Won a couple MVPs. Johnny Bench joining us on the program. Johnny, thanks for joining us. How are you today?
I am wonderful, Dan. Nice to be with you.
Well, help me out with the unwritten rules here. I know you're old school here, but Fernando Tatis Jr. on a 3-0 pitch, up 10 in the 8th inning, was 10-3, I should say, but up 10 runs, is supposed to what in that situation?
Well, hit it as far as he can. I mean, it's 3-0. Okay, he throws it. You take a pitch. It's 3-1. Now the pitcher makes a great pitch. It's 3-2. The next pitch you ground into a double play, and everybody goes home happy. Oh, okay. So it's like the unwritten rule. If when you got a no hitter, you don't bunt to get a base hit to break up the no hitter. No, nobody wants to do that. But I can understand. I mean, they think they're getting whipped and everything else. But it's the 8th inning. Texas has a great offense, and well, we've been watching with Oakland lately. They're scoring 3 or 4 runs in the 9th inning and winning ball games that they've been trailing in. And I think this started in the early part of spring training, where people said, because we're only playing a limited schedule of games, it's important to win every game. And I'm telling you, a grand slam on your resume is a pretty good little thing to have. And now I just now heard you say that the manager had given him a take.
Yeah.
3-0, I'm not really looking down to the third base coach a lot. Well,
yeah.
What should I do here? Well, I mean, he got the bases loaded somehow. Somehow they didn't have a lot of things going on. He's 3-0 with tattoos because he's got to be really careful with this young man. He's already hit a home run in the game, and now it's like, well, you better make a pretty good pitch. It's like, oh, okay, it's 3-0. I'll just groove it and it'll happen. But I don't have a problem with it. I think it's with a limited season. I think no matter what, you've got to take advantage of every situation, win every possible game you have. And the Padres are having a great season, off to a great start, and Texas has been playing well enough. I just think if you respect the other team in 2 ways. First of all, you give them the respect, or you don't swing at it. Okay, fine, but okay, it's 10-3. You're up by 7. A couple of little bing bang and a couple of bloops and a blast, and all of a sudden you're it's 10-7 or 10-8 going into the 9th inning. Now all of a sudden said, "Man, I wish I hadn't had it take." No, I think it's fine. I mean, I don't have a problem with it, and I'm sure that they understand that little frustration that they got into that situation. They got battered around pretty good. They've already given up a 3-run homer to him, and now it's 10-3. And here they are ready to do it. So he hits a double or hits into a double in double play. The whole scenario changes. But, you played the game. I mean, would you have been up there hacking?
Yes. If I'm a professional, Johnny, then I'm up there swinging. I understand if this is Little League or, something, a Legion ball maybe. But, your job is to get me out, and my job is not to get myself out so you'll feel better about yourself. I mean, imagine if you're facing Sandy Koufax and you're going, Sandy, you're throwing it too hard. We can't hit you. Could you let it? Bob Gibson. Imagine you say to Bob Gibson, hey, Bob, stop throwing it so hard.
Yeah. And please, no more wrinkles. Don't start little things that spin and break down, because I'm not real good on the curveball and I can't hit your slider. So mind if you just sort of groove a couple right here and everything else. Of course, they could groove it and you wouldn't hit it anyway. So that was the situation. And, is this all we got to talk about today? I mean, is this the most important subject in the world? Some guy hits a grand slam because you went 3-0 on him, and you couldn't find the plate on the first three pitches, but you can groove one down the middle, and you just got the wrong guy.
And also, the other topic is what's going on with the Cardinals, that they put everybody else in a bad situation here, Johnny, that now you have to play all these games, but now you're forcing all these other teams who did it right, and you're not going to have everybody have the same number of games, I think, at the end of the regular season. So if you're the commissioner, how are you deciding, what you're going to base the playoffs on?
Percentages.
Yeah, but is that fair if you play 48 games, but I play 60, and I might get in because I have a better percentage in 48, and you played all of your games there?
Well, I mean, that unfortunately, as they even talked about this at the beginning of all of this when they were trying to figure it out. And then, of course, the Phillies went for the long time where they didn't play any games, and then the Marlins was out. A couple of kids go out and on the street and wind up with it, and all of a sudden now they're being penalized for make up games and doing stuff, and you don't have enough days off to make up all these games, and now you can't fly to Philadelphia and play a doubleheader, and you can't go to St. Louis. And yeah, the protocols were what they are, but do you find the teams for allowing this to happen? And does your family all of a sudden they're the ones that got it at home, and you come home and they give it to you? You can't be for sure that the team gave it to you. And so, I mean, it's so many different scenarios, and they're going to have to do it on percentages. You cannot, like you said, you cannot make up these games. You cannot get to the point. And now the Reds got a couple of little, blips, and they're all for the weekend. And now you're rearranging all you got to do is if you're worried about your third and fourth starters, you just go ahead and say somebody's got COVID, take a couple of days off, and you bring the aces back in. Here's 1 and 2 right here. Well, let's go with them.
Wow.
Up there. I mean, are you going to penalize the Danettes for coming in and not taking care of themselves?
They haven't taken care of themselves, but now's not the time to start punishing them, Johnny.
And I'm still worried about Fritzy cheating on that test, and I don't want to bring it up again, but I mean it just wasn't very smart of him. It's like telling your wife, "Yeah, I'm thinking about having an affair."
And I realized that Fritzy actually broke your heart, that this emotionally touched you, that you found out that Fritzy, who, it seems like a moral guy, his moral compass is pointing north. He's our Ernie Banks. He's always ready to play too. And then he cheats off his neighbor's paper in high school, and he graduated second in his class of 600, Johnny.
No. Really?
Yes.
Are you serious? I didn't hear that part.
Yes, and I think that keep this in mind, Johnny. You know Fritzy's favorite baseball team?
The Reds.
The Astros. Cheaters.
Oh, no. Well, he was a front runner at that bit. But, if you were doing it, it's like the Heisman Trophy when they gave it back.
With Reggie Bush.
I would absolutely say. Yeah, when Reggie did it, gave back to USC, then maybe Fritzy should think about having that medal and finding out who that person that finished third in the class and send it to them. Also, I've got a solution because the Reds were talking about having people, fans in the stand, and they could mark off 6 or 7 seats, and then you could sit in there. And the Kansas City's talking about having 16,000. Just call it a protest. Everybody can come to the stadium.
Good to talk to you, as always, Johnny.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. That's
good
the Hall of Famer.
Are you doing good?
Yeah.
Are you doing?
Yeah, we're all doing good. Pretty boring around here.
Okay. Well, that's the way life is now. All right. But school started back here. We got school. We got the kids back in school. They're actually in person in school. And so my life is back to routine, and I'm loving it. So we're doing well down here in Florida right now.
Thank you, bud.
Thanks, man.
That's Johnny Bench, Hall of Famer.